Hey, welcome back to Attacking Third. NWSL Week 18 is upon us. There are games all across the CBS Sports family of networks, so tune in. Friday, you've got Portland and Utah on the Galazo Network, Seattle Reign against San Diego Wave on Paramount Plus, Washington Spirit Chicago on CBS. That's on Sunday. And then on Monday, Angel City taking on Houston CBS SN. That's a 9 p.m. kick on Monday night. But really, we have to look at some of the games that have the biggest playoff races implications. And because when you look at the standings, guys, there are just 5 points separating third place San Diego to seventh place Racing Louisville. It's stressing me out, McCall. I'm getting a little stressed out about this.
Think about this. All my eyes are on Louisville versus Houston. I want to see if Louisville can still hold what they're doing because I think this game will say they're the real deal and they're going to make the playoffs. I think this is the game. If they get this win, it's like we're going to stay in this top 8. Now for the Dash,
Wow.
if they win this, they literally jump
Yeah.
into a solid playoff spot because they have 19 points at the moment. So with a win, they'll be right underneath Louisville.
Yeah. Houston's only
And
2 points behind eighth place right now in the
correct.
standings.
Correct. So, and when they get 3, they'll be in 8th place. They'll be underneath Louisville. So, this is the game to watch for me because there's
Yeah.
so much riding on the line for both of these teams. And it's those 3 points are like you either fall really far or go up really high. And it's only 3 points. That's what, yes, we love the NWSL. That
Yeah.
is what is so freaking fun about it. Just one win changes your whole opportunity to be in the playoffs and win a championship.
Houston could do it potentially too. They're unbeaten in their last four with wins over Gotham and North Carolina. I think that is also one of the craziest concepts of the NWSL is that you could count a team out because of poor performances over a couple of weeks and inconsistencies, and then bam, they're right back in your face pushing for a playoff spot.
And I'm here for it. This I wish I had my heart rate monitor on because my heart's fluttering right now. It's making me nervous. I've got the nervous sweats over here. I think for Houston Dash, they've been on fire the second half of the season, and I think this is going to definitely be definitely a game to watch because of how close these points are. I can't even imagine being on these rosters right now with this type of pressure. I think this is a different kind of pressure because standings are so darn close, and just one game can change the entire trajectory of your season and being able to push that playoff position. It's nuts. That's like 6 teams that are in that
Mhm.
in that bubble of being able to make it into that playoff spot. So this is the rest of this season is going to be a fight for all of these teams, and it's gonna be nuts.
Jess, as a player, how much are you looking at the standings? Like if you're on Louisville or Houston, how much are you looking at the point swing, looking at the standings and what's to come?
You know what? I was never to be honest, I was never the player to look at standings. I never went online to see how other teams are doing. Like every now and again, I would know what place my team would be in, but most of the time I really didn't know. I like to just show up to games, not psych myself out, show up to every game the exact same way. You know what I mean? Without putting any type of gossip in my head, any type of negative energy, like nothing. I didn't want anything to throw me off. So I was actually never looking at the standings. Sometimes we'd hear it in the locker room, but like most of the season, I really never knew. Obviously, like with courage, when we were a darn good team. Of course, I knew we were in first, but like other than that, like I never looked at the standings ever. So I think going into these games though, now like if I were a player, the news is out there all the time, and I feel like um I would probably try and prepare the exact same way going into each game, licking my chops. Oh, okay. I'm going up against Emily Sonnet today. Okay, let's go. I know she's going to be in my face and I'll be back in hers. So there's going to be something about players that you're going to match up with going into games. At least that's how it was for me going up against a certain central defender or outside back, majority of the game. And I'm licking my chops like, oh, today it's going to be a fight. And so I hope that's the type of approach that these players are going to go in. But that's just Jess McDonald. So, McCall, what you think?
I'm going to be honest. When you're winning, you don't look at the table.
Yeah.
You know exactly where you stand. There was a couple of seasons where they were not going well for me, whatever team I was on, and I'm frantically checking it every day.
Really?
Refresh, 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 like doing the math in my head. My fingers always going like this. Like, if we do this one, then and that's like panic that you don't want to be in, because like winning was so important to me and making the playoffs was so important to me. Like, that's how you just measure your season, obviously. Because I was always like a team centric, team first player. I wasn't like, oh, how many goals did I score and how many minutes did I play? I was like, I'm getting this team into the playoffs. Like, that was
Right.
always my mentality. So I would always feel like a failure if I didn't lead my team into the playoffs. So that's kind of where I measured up. But it was always better for me during the seasons that you just win. You don't even need to check because you know you're balling. You're at least in the top three. And seasons with Jess, our 3 seasons of the Courage, we only lost 1 or 2 games a season. So there's nothing to look at when you win every weekend.
Yeah. You're like, I'm just raking in the 3 points every single week. Humble brag for both of you. Love it. Not only picking up all those wins, but picking up trophies on the way too. It has to be a little bit different though for Louisville and Houston because they've been so up and down. For Louisville, this is their first time back home in about a month. And now they get to host Houston after picking up games against some of the toughest teams in the league that Louisville has had to compete against. And then they get wins over San Diego, a Gotham draw, Utah, right? Like all these little points have separated them. So if Louisville win and they get 3 points and they jump up the standings, how much does that change the postseason trajectory of racing?
Completely. That puts them in like 4th place if they
Yeah.
win. 3rd
Yeah.
place, tied for 4th, tied for 3rd, one of the 2. That's insane. That's
Insane.
that's a hopeful journey, I think, going for Racing Louisville at that point. If they win this next game, they're going to be a very difficult team to beat moving forward. If that bumps them into 3rd or 4th place, they'd be tied with Orlando if they win this game. Tied with Orlando, Racing Louisville. Like, I don't think anyone ever would have thought that, doing their predictions at the beginning of this season. But Bev Yanez is doing something special with this team this season, and I am here for it.
On the contrary, they've been performing so well on the road against top teams. If they lose this game at home, that's going to be a weird feeling that they're going to have to overcome. Because if you can't make your home field a fortress and a place that you dominate and win, then that's going to be difficult for them for the next few games here, because they're going to have a home stretch as well. And so they need to find their footing and those good feelings in front of their fans. Whereas, maybe they had a mentality in the away games, like, we're here to wreck this home up. You don't know what the motivation is and the mentality going to play away teams. So they need to find their footing at home. This is going to be a huge home win for them. If they can get it, it sets the tone that will just elevate them.
I mean, Louisville has done well at home. Right before the summer break, they took down Orlando, who was riding so high, and that was a shutout 2-0 win at Lynn Family Stadium. And then their last home game most recently was August 1st against Kansas City, and that is a game in which they fell 2-0. But Shield winners, to me, I put like a little asterisk next to that game, and I say, Racing Louisville, you were never going to win against Kansas City. So you know what? Now is your chance to do it against Houston at home. Okay, so that game is Friday night. We have a really big game Monday night that has playoff implications in it, because based on how everything else shakes out between Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with Kansas City Current, the Current could clinch depending on the results that happen Monday night between Angel City and Bay. But Angel City and Bay can't worry about Kansas City. They have to focus on themselves. Angel City, they sit in 10th place. Bay is in 12th place, 3 points separating these two teams. Jess, is this make or break for Bay FC's playoff implications Monday night?
100%. I think they've been one of the most inconsistent programs since their inaugural season last year. They have the talent, because we see it in some of these games. We've seen it in their wins that they've had this season. But there have been so many opportunities in front of goal that they create and do not score. That's their biggest issue right now. I think they have the depth defensively. They're a difficult team to break down, but I think obviously Washington Spirit kind of smack them around a little bit, especially in that first half. But AFC, they have to show up from the start of games because they have not started off these games very well. And so now they're playing catch up. And when they're playing catch up, they create all of these opportunities. Rachel Kundananji should probably be on the Golden Boot board with the amount of opportunities that she creates for herself. She puts in so much hard work, you guys. I mean, she'll blow past the entire back line with her speed, her technique, all of it. And now here's what's supposed to look like the simple part. It's not easy scoring goals, mind everybody. This is one of the most difficult things to do in football. But she puts herself in these easy spots in front of net, and it looks like a cross, inside of the 6, and she seems so indecisive in front of net. Rachel Kundananji is their leader this season, but she's just not capitalizing right now with her goal scoring ability. She's got it. We've seen her score bangers. We've seen her just shake and bake, get an assist. We've seen her do it, but she's been too inconsistent. So if Rachel Kundananji shows up for Bay FC will win.
I like that you said that she's their leader, because there are moments watching Bay FC where I am so bought in on that. And I'm like, Rachel Kundananji is driving the force of this team. But then there are other moments where I feel like she doesn't have as much confidence in herself that I want from a leader on a team. And it is her indecision in front of goal. Guys, she misses, and the team as a whole for Bay FC, they miss like their easy chances. And the goals they do score are like hard, incredibly hard. Like,
that's that striker when you're a midfielder, you're like, how many times do I need to give you the ball, sweetie? Like, let's do this, okay?
Let's have a chat. Come sit down.
And that's just focus. Go early to training, stay after, practice that execution in your opportunities. You know what I mean? Like, there's no good tries in this game. You do not get credit for a good try. You have to do a good job, and a good job is executing. And it's really difficult. And like, for me, a zoom out lens of this match is a battle of the middles. And if you can't beat the middle next to you, then you're going to end up at the bottom. So this head-to-head right here is like, you need to beat the people you can beat, because you ain't beating Kansas City. You ain't beating Spirit. Right. You know what I'm saying? So you just leave the tops at the tops. So then you got to start beating the bottoms and the middles. And if you can't do that, then you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, like you have to be picking up points that are off teams that are on either side of the standings of you. And that means exactly that for Angel City and Bay. Now, Angel City, we talked a bit about them at the top of this show because of the trades. They've lost Katie Zellin. They've lost Alana Kennedy. They're going over to England to play with London City Lionesses. But under Alex Strauss, Angel City is coming off of their first win, and it was a big 1-0 shutout win over Orlando. What is the momentum, McCall, now that Angel City has to ride off of that game going into this game against Bay?
Well, Orlando lost all its momentum. Like, we're still talking about like Orlando, like that's an extremely difficult opponent and top side. They're in a weird way right now, and they're trending downwards. So for Angel City to get that win against them, yes, it was very important, but I don't think it was as huge as people are making it to seem, because they're just not a side ticking on all full cylinders that is difficult to beat right now.
I absolutely disagree. This was a huge win for Angel City.
Of course, points wise, but it's not like they're beating number one. I don't consider Orlando number one anymore. I haven't for the last 6-7 games.
I agree that Orlando is not playing well, but this is a really big win for Angel City on paper, mentally, what they're doing, how they were able to fight throughout this game, close it out with a late goal by Alyssa Thompson. That was a little bit heroics, a little bit of a team effort. I disagree completely, McCall. I think that game against Orlando changed everything for how Angel City can finish the rest of this season.
Yes, no, I agree with the momentum Angel City's building. I don't agree with that it was a massive win because the opponent was so difficult. They're not right now. They're not.
If I'm Angel City, though, I don't care about the opponent. I care about what I'm doing.
Okay.
So I'm like, no, I don't care about you, right? You could be at the top of the standings. You could be at the bottom. You're still the Shield winners. You're still the reigning
But
champion.
also, Angel City, you're running out of time. It shouldn't matter who your opponent is. You got to beat everybody.
Exactly.
You've just got to, whoever's in front of your face that weekend, you've got to take care of it.
Jess, what about you?
I agree with both of you. See here, I'm Switzerland. See, because because you know what? This is a huge win for LA. And with Alex Strauss's first game, I mean, big time for this brand new coach. And the reason why I say this is a huge win for LA is because Orlando is still the champions right now until someone else wins this season. And so I think that this will give LA a little bit of a spark moving forward. But McCall, like you said, they do need to continue winning. You know, they tooted their own horns here, beating Orlando, which was huge, and I was here for it. Alyssa Thompson banger, of course, but they have to keep it going. They have to continue getting 3 points, no matter who they're matching up against. The
I'm
rest of
telling
the
you
season.
guys, this was a change of the tide for Angel City getting that win over Orlando. We're going to see them.
I hope you're right. I hope
climb.
you're right.
I hope so
They're
too.
going to go on it. Okay, another big matchup this weekend. It is Sunday, 4 p.m. You can watch it on CBS. It is Washington Spirit against the Chicago Stars. Now, if you haven't been paying attention, you're probably like, Lisa, why does anyone care about this match? Washington Spirit are at the top. Chicago is just sitting in the cellar of the standings in 13th place. Hello, Chicago Stars have been playing spoiler week after week after week. And no, Chicago's not going to climb the standings and win the Shield, but they can take other teams out of contention. Chicago has drawn with North Carolina, Seattle, Bay, Gotham. They're undefeated in their last 4. Is Washington going to be the one that stops North Carolina in their run to destroy everything?
Spirit has been funky, honestly. Like I this was on my sheet before the game last week. I said Croy has to come alive. Like Croy Bethune has had a very slow start of the season. They rely on her a lot. If that girl can get going, she's a piece that could elevate them to the remainder of the season and possibly a championship. And so her getting that goal versus Bay last week is massive for her to just open up, start getting her flow and her feels. And let's be honest, we love watching her. She's so creative. She's so fun. And when she has her confidence and her form, I think she's struggled getting her form back. Her knee took a lot longer than most of us expected. And that's challenging when you're a player and when you're out of the game for a while. You have to get your form back. And it only comes from, training and putting time in on the pitch with time. You can't rush it. So if she can unlock, she's gonna carry them very far. I love a Croy Bethune good moment.
I love it. I love it. I think we're starting to see it. I think we could potentially see even more from Croy Bethune. I'm with you though that Washington has had some shaky moments as of late, right? Even their game last weekend, they dominated in the first half against Bay, right? They go up 3 goals, but then they allow Bay back into the game to score 2 goals. And if I'm Chicago, I'm like, oh, I've seen this film before. I can do that. I did that on the last 2 teams I played. Washington's going to fall asleep in the 70th minute. That's exactly when when Chicago Stars caffeine kicks in and they get going in the 75th. They're going to be like this. 2 different.
Unless you're on a 3-hour heat delay, your caffeine is well gone out.
Truth. I completely agree. I think Chicago is definitely going to be a very difficult team to beat moving forward. I think all of these comebacks, it kept us at the edge of our seats. I was in the studio working the Chicago game in Chicago when Alyssa Nair had scored. I'm twiddling my thumbs in this first half. They're down 2-0 at half. Then they go down 3-0. And I'm in the studio being a color analyst, and I'm like, I have nothing to talk about. Like if they just score one goal, one goal, this whole game will change. And sure enough, in like the 72nd minute, here we go. We have ourselves a game, and then Alyssa Nair, just cherry on top. So I think this is the type of Chicago team that we have not seen this season. And that's just playing with a little bit of dog, playing with a little bit of fight.
They have nothing to lose.
They have nothing to lose. Ella Masser brought something out of them. All of a sudden Ella Masser is, interim head coach, and they haven't lost yet. And so
But they'll be without her, Jess. Masser won't be on the sidelines for this match. She got another yellow card in their last game, so she's not there.
Oh, see, I did not know that.
Interesting.
You guys, this is new news. I was today years old.
It's really neat. currently living in the NWSL upset era.
Isn't it
It is,
crazy?
it's like everyone's just spoiling dreams and out here surprising people and snatching games back at the very last minute. NWSL is like known for extra time, stoppage time, bangers. Like, don't turn your TV off, people.
You
It's
can't.
coming at the last
You
minute.
can't sleep on it.
No.
It's so good. It is so good and so fun. And there's always new news happening, coaches suspensions, player trades and transfers, because just announced right now, guys, Chicago Stars have added a new player. Colombian international Ivonne, how are we doing it? Chacón? Ivonne Chacón, the Colombian international. This is a done deal. She is headed as a forward to Chicago Stars. 500,000 euro release clause, contract through 2027. I mean, the Stars are making moves getting a player like this that can just add more depth in the front line.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I'll say she's worth it. She's fun to watch with Colombian on the international stage, but you just hope it translates. You just hope that her skills and attributes translate into the NWSL, because it is a very tricky, transitional, physical, challenging league that many who play around the world are just not used to when they come here.
I just hope I hope she settles very well into this league also, because this league is a whole different beast. But this is a signing, and this is a player that Chicago's been needing. They've
Mhm.
been needing a little more pizzazz within their roster. They've lost a few to some injuries. Shea Groom just broke her leg. You know, she's an
Heartbreaker.
experienced player, and so I hope that this partnership with Ludmila up front just meshes well, because you see Ludmila Samba on the ball, and then you see Chacón on the ball doing the thing. You know, they're playing that ticky-tacky football that you love to see from their countries. And so I love the amount of internationals that we have in this league also, just going from a handful probably at the beginning of this league into what we're seeing now right in front of our eyes. So I think this is going to be a great signing for Chicago. I do hope it translates for her
Yeah.
coming into this league.
Chacón is just going to take pressure off of the rest of the Stars forwards. I think there's been a lot of weight on Ali Schlegel's shoulders to do a lot of the work for the Stars in the build-up play and setting up her teammates and scoring goals and being a threat. And then Ludmila as well, who, man, that girl looks like she's unstoppable right now. But to have someone else to play off of in Chacón, like, terrifying to think about.
Well, and here's why it matters if you're a team like Chicago, where you finish on the table. Like, you have so much opportunity to get so many points. And so when other players around the world are thinking about coming to NWSL and they click on NWSL standings and they see that your team was in last place, no, thank you. But if your team finishes in 9th, 8th, okay, I'll think about it, especially if you're offering me good money. So
Yeah.
it is very important about where you finish, because that's how you attract other players to grow your club.